Welcome to Amplifyre's interview series. My name is Christian, and joining me today is a managing partner at B12 Consulting, Mihailo. Mihailo, welcome to the series. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Christian. How about yourself?
Very good, and I'm pretty excited for today's interview because we're taking a closer look at artificial intelligence and its impact on software development. So maybe to start us off, how does the emergence of AI disrupt the traditional software model, especially in terms of data generation and processing?
So I think we're entering a paradigm shift in software development. Now, traditional software was based on a cycle where a human or equivalently a sensor set or some other device was the source of data, while the purpose of the application was really to treat this data and then feed the result back to the user. Now, in this traditional software model, AI appeared mainly as a peripheral tool the applications could use to do some complex data analysis part. For instance, if you needed to analyze images or sound or something like that. Now, recent developments in AI are really transforming this fundamentally. AI can not only analyze data anymore, but it can generate it as well. If you use ChatGPT or Stable Diffusion, you've probably experienced this. But what's super interesting is that AI can now also use other applications as tools. So to give you an example, if you wanted to generate a business report in the past, for instance, you would have to ask an expert to write you a set of database queries, to connect this to a dashboard, to create some graphics, and stuff like this. So the expertise was really crucial in this process. We're now entering an era where we can build systems around AI that can do all of this. So as a business expert, you can simply ask a question to the AI, and AI can build the query for you. It can extract the data for you. It can process it. It can generate the dashboard. It can generate the graphics and really complete the whole chain. That's the direction that we're entering. And it can do this in a lot of cases a lot more efficiently than a human. Now, the one way to think about it is that for the first time, all of us can really afford to have a true digital assistant, right? So I call this the AI-centric software, or software that's built not adjacent to, but around the AI algorithms. And I really expect this to be the standard of the future. Now, problems such as documentation search, reporting can now all be solved with AI. We're witnessing this as we go. Now that algorithms are able to analyze context, they can do this much faster than humans, and hence are very, very useful. Basically, we're getting to the era where if you're starting to build an application and it's not built around AI, you're very likely doing it wrong.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know how rapidly things change. And if you're not staying at the forefront of these changes, you're going to get left behind in the dust. I want to talk a little bit deeper, in what ways will a user experience be fundamentally transformed with the rise of AI-powered applications, shifting from specialized technical input to more of a business-oriented interactions?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. Today, AI allows us to develop really more efficient ways to interact with applications, and this has to do a lot with the fact that AI is able to analyze data and search through it in a manner which is not only context-aware, but with the ability to summarize, itemize data, and so on. Now, this is something that was really not possible, or at least very difficult to do a mere year ago. Now, think of traditional ways you use a search bar, for example. You would go to Google or Bing or your favorite search engine. You would input some keywords or simple sentences, but what you would get back is not the answer that you're looking for. What you would get back is a web page or place where the answer is likely located. So the process always involved this extra manual step which required you, the user, to read through the text and extract the information you actually wanted. And this was because traditional ways to search data were not contextual. The algorithms that were performing the search were simply not aware of the context of the search. Nowadays, you can offload both the task of finding the right document and reading through it to AI. You can ask a question and get an actual answer to it instead of a narrowed down list of places of where to look. Now, this unlocks many new possibilities for people who could not really truly benefit from AI before. What you should think about are places where you have to deal with large quantities of text on a daily basis. So think lawyers, notaries, office administrators, even maintenance workers who have to sift through large volumes of manuals and pages like that. For all these people, AI can now really help them improve their operational efficiency. Now, another example where AI is transforming the way we interact with software is really the common web store, right? We spent the last 3 decades perfecting ways to organize items in a web store into a sort of a decision tree of nested categories, which is supposed to help us, the customers, to find the items that we're looking for, to navigate through this very complex structure of a store. But if you're like me, you don't really care about product organization. What you care about is to get the item that you want as quickly as possible, right? Now, AI can nowadays act as your shopping assistant. It can really take your needs and translate them into an item that you want. It's very similar to a store employee who you go to ask, where can I find, black shoes of size 40. Now, you don't have to click through categories and subcategories anymore to find what you want. You just need to describe an item, and AI can find it for you. Now, I think what this will lead to eventually is kind of more extreme UX minimalism. Applications of the future are going to look more like ChatGPT and less like traditional websites with, tabs, categories, and so on. We can imagine web stores where you only have a single field where you just describe what you want. I want shoes that are black. I want them to be Nikes. I want them to be comfortable, and so on. And AI will find this for you, suggest you the items, ask you if they're correct, if you would like to change the color, and so on and so on. So this way of interacting with software is really a lot more business-oriented than it used to be. Now, take Excel, for example, right? It's a very common piece of software, and it's very powerful. It's very useful. A lot of people use it. But the problem is that in order to use Excel, you need to understand how it works. You need to understand what each button does. You need to understand how to program it to a degree. And this is something that most people don't want to do, and to be quite honest, they simply don't care, right? They want to extract business insight from their data. Now, instead of knowing how to do a pivot table or make a graph or merge tables, in the future, you should be able to have Excel-like tools where you can simply ask a business question. You can ask, I want to see, my sales data grouped by customer for the month of June. And thanks to AI, you should be able to get that answer without knowing how to program the tool at all.
That's the benefit of these tools is, I still struggle with Excel sometimes, so I can't wait for that to actually work that way. I wanted to talk about that as well, is because, one thing is a lot of people are kind of worried about AI and their jobs, with AI's ability to write applications itself, what's the potential impact does this have on the large software vendors? Will we witness a shift from traditional software vendors to AI vendors in the software market? And, what are the implications of such a transformation?
Yeah. So this is a very meta question for me because at B12 Consulting, we, of course, build a lot of software. And naturally, we're talking internally a lot about what AI brings to the table from the technical side and what it really means for us on a day-to-day basis. And I think there are a couple of important things to mention here. I mean, one is that AI makes the barrier of entry and hence the cost of developing software lower. Okay, in the past, a lot of software was controlled by large players, especially complex software. But AI may change that because it allows smaller players to do the same with less. Okay. The second thing is that this also means that limited resources, we will increasingly be able to build applications which are more customized to our own needs. And this is fantastic. So a lot of people who have used any kind of standardized piece of software have run into situations where they had to customize it themselves for their own, purpose. And this is becoming much easier nowadays. You can really build applications in such a way that they suit you and that they're built for you. And you can do that for significantly less than before. Now, the question everybody should be asking themselves is if I can, if AI can write software, why should somebody buy my software instead of write their own? And my expectation is that a lot of the large software vendors will move towards making AI really the center of their products to allow this flexibility and customization in the operation. And this means that the emphasis will likely be shifting from software vendors to really AI vendors. Of course, at the moment, all powerful AI is controlled by large players such as Microsoft and Google, but it really remains to be seen if this will continue to be the case. AI such as large language models there's no real secret tech inside of them. I mean, the underlying architectures and the technology that they're based on, it's open source, it's very well understood, and people have been using it for a while. Everybody knows basically what ChatGPT is based on. The kind of secret thing, not the secret thing, but the complex thing is that only a few companies in this world can actually afford to train such a model. For instance, training ChatGPT-4 costs something like $100 million, right? I mean, very few companies can afford to do this. However, if we learned anything from history, is that tech tends to miniaturize, right? And people are very clever, and they already found ways to train models similar to ChatGPT with less resources. They found clever tricks, clever methods to reduce the resources necessary to do this. And over time, it's possible that we will have open source models that are available to everybody. That you could train with some reasonable amount of resources for an SME that are close to and maybe as powerful as ChatGPT. So it's possible that we will see kind of democratization of this technology to others. And to me, that's both a wonderful and a very scary thought.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive, that's for sure. There's a lot more that goes into AI, and I think this topic deserves a follow-up from our audience. So if people are interested in finding out more about B12 Consulting, where can they go? So
they can go to b12-consulting.com, where they can find more about our company, how we do things, as well more about our past projects, our team, our values, and things like that. And if you're interested in how AI can help you really enhance your business, I encourage you to contact us at info@b12-consulting.com. And if you do, I promise you it will be worth your time.
Brilliant. So go check them out. Of course, links are in the description. Mihaela, I just want to say it's been an interesting conversation and a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to our future conversations.